my name's Eleni Allen, and today I would like to talk to you about mother enmeshment or parental enmeshment, covert incest and emotional incest. With enmeshment, this is where the parent uses the child as an extension of themselves and objectifies the child into fulfilling the needs of the parent, into filling the needs of the mother. If the mother needs companionship, she will use the child to fulfill the need to have her companionship, her sexuality, and her if she needs advice, she will be asking the child for advice and going and giving the child all of her or the father's intimate problems and intimate needs. She will or he will confide in the child the intimacy problems. So she's like using the child as an extension of themselves and objectifying the child to fulfill the needs, the parent's needs, not the child's. The child is not respected or validated or cared for because the child's place is to serve the needs of the parent, not the child. Kenneth Adams quotes that in his book The Family, quote, "When the family system is unbalanced, the children attempt to create the balance." So where you have, just say, a mother that is in a bad relationship and or the father or the partner is absent emotionally or physically, the child will automatically want to fill that void into making the family balanced. And the mother will also rely on the child for her needs, and the child is more than willing to fulfill that void in the family. And this becomes then the child's place to become the mother's surrogate partner, to become or to parentify the child into caring for the mother. And even in cases like this as well, that the child can become the father figure to his siblings as well. And in some cases, the child then, when grows up into an adult, still remains that role, still keeps that role. And Patricia Love says that one of the signs of being a victim of covert incest is when the child grows up into the adult child, then they will experience chronic relationship issues in the future when they start to date, when they start to pull away from mother, even if they just pull away from mother a little bit just to start their own life, that they are unable to have a balanced relationship. Within that, the one of the signs of the chronic issues is that the adult child of the enmeshment is unable to commit fully to the new, just say like the new woman in his life. He's unable to commit because he's still bonded to mother, whether he sees mother every day or whether he sees mother once a year. If this enmeshment has been ingrained into the child, then without there being an acknowledgement of what's happened, and without there being a grieving stage of being an enmeshed child, then that position will still stay. The adult child will still be kind of enmeshed with mother. So when there's that element of intimacy, the adult child then will feel pressure, will feel violated and feel rage and feel angry. And this emotion initially belongs to mother, not to his partner. He projects all that anger and rage and violation onto his partner. Just use an example. If I asked my husband, oh, do you mind if you come home a couple of hours earlier? Because I won't be seeing you for a couple of days. And my husband would automatically respond defensively and angrily. You're trying to control me. You're not having this. You're not going to control me. And in reality, what I was doing is just asking just for us to connect. And maybe if he couldn't, then just to give an explanation and make the time up at another date. But automatically, he felt pressured, he felt violated, he felt that I was controlling him, inappropriately controlling him, whereas these emotions belonged to his mum. Now, virtually every day he would go and see his mum for hours on end. You know, it wasn't like he wasn't seeing mother, he was so enmeshed with mother. But if I asked for one simple thing, there would be an explosion. Whereas when mother asked for something, he would be riddled with guilt, he would be riddled with shame not to do anything that mother asked. He was so enmeshed with mother. So within a relationship, it's going to be difficult for the enmeshed man or woman to connect with the partner because the loyalties, because is with mum, even though that there is underneath that intense anger and rage and shame and guilt, that this is projected onto the partner. Because for the enmeshed person to admit that mother's been emotionally objectifying me, mother is abusing me, that it is a very, very, very hard emotion to actually release, because they've had a lifetime of illusion and denial. Not saying it can't be done. Yes, it can be done, but there has to be that recognition there. So within a relationship, there is a lot of projection that is given to the partner, and obviously that can trigger off the partner's other, possibly her or his own buttons. So, and then it just becomes a big conflict. So we have here as well from Kenneth Adams from Silently Seduced: the more seductive, entrapping and violating a mother's relationship with her son is, the more likely that the son will displace anger meant for his mother onto other women. And this is the whole chronic problem in the relationship, that there is so much projection of emotion that is given to the partner. A lot of the emotion that is felt, the anger and the rage and the violation and the control that is felt and projected onto the partner, belongs to mother, not the partner. And also John Bradshaw says that with the child as well, when is conditioned from a very young age that children make gods of their parents. And in my own personal opinion, I believe that where the children make gods of their parents, that the enmeshed man or woman is entrapped in that time. They're entrapped in when they were 5, when they were 6 or 7. They're entrapped in that space and time of feeling that mum you know, that mum is like God. You know, oh, I must do what mum says. I feel guilty. You know, I have to do what she says. I have to be what she wants me to be, because it's just too much shame and guilt will land on my shoulders. There's just too much. And within that as well, there's a dichotomy that goes on, because they do feel honoured and they do feel privileged to be mothers, primary everything, to be mothers, to be mother's companion, to be mother's you know, even like kind of like sexual partner, but without the sex, without there being any sexual touch. There's this underlying current that there is like a sexual undertone within that relationship, and the adult child does feel violated underneath those layers of feeling honoured and privileged. The dichotomy is that the adult child does feel sexually violated. And as it's got here, which again from the book The Family by John Bradshaw, that there's an honoured, that they feel very honoured and privileged, but they have the duality of feeling violated as well, because in my own personal opinion, I believe that feeling of the violation, the feeling of feeling entrapped, is the self, the real innate self, the core of us, that's screaming out. But the conditioned place that mother has given and conditioned and programmed the child into believing that they are feeling honoured and privileged. And also, as children, as John Bradshaw says, that we make gods of our parents. Right, I think that's it. Okay. Please leave a comment in the comments box. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you feel. I would love to hear your stories. And please, let's connect. Let's connect, because it's nothing worse, especially if you're a partner of an enmeshed man, or you are the enmeshed man or woman. It can be very difficult to connect with other people with this issue, because there's a very, you know, people can think there's a very thin line between enmeshment and covert incest, and also just being close to your parent. And the way that I would rule out the difference between being close to your parent or being enmeshed is, does your relationship with your parents serve the needs of just your parents, or is the balance more for the child, the adult child? Because in my opinion, that being as a mother, that my main focus is my children. Even though that there is a balance in the relationship, there will always be that my children will always be above me, and I will always be there to cater for their needs more so than my own. And that's the difference. Does the relationship mainly focus on the child's needs or the parents' needs? And that's the question. If it's focused on the mother's needs, then that's an enmeshed relationship, and that's very unhealthy. So thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.